Hey, good morning. I'm working on my 2006 Monaco Beaver Patriot Thunder. The issue I have is it's not holding fresh water in the freshwater tank. So some people on the Monacoers site said there's a valve underneath this, so I got underneath it. Let me just show you what I uncovered. So underneath, and I'm right in front of the passenger side drive axle, and right here is my whole aqua hot system, and the dump valves for the waste tanks and everything is right there. So that's where I'm at. I'm about 2 feet in front of the drive axle, and underneath there you'll see the big there's a big pan with a hole through it, and that's where the pipe's coming through. So I got under, I do have it up on blocks. It's the only way I can get underneath this thing. And that is sealed. It's held on by 6 screws, but I had to really pry it off because it's held on with what looks like butyl tape, butyl caulk, whatever it's called. But here's the valve itself. And this is a manual valve. As you can see, it's got the typical pull rod that we would expect to see when we're dumping, pull and push. But on top of it is this, what looks to be an aftermarket valve that when you push the dump or close valve, this guy here is, well, I guess it's this guy here, is pushing and pulling for you, so you don't have to do it. Well, what I've discovered is this thing is sliding. And so that's why it didn't have enough force to close, because it's not sealed tight enough against that valve body. So I'm going to try to wedge right up in between here. The problem with getting these screws out, I guess I could take this whole bottom, sorry to back up, I could take this whole bottom part of the valve off to get this to drop, but I can't get these nuts off because they're on screw heads up here that are just spinning. So I was going to put a piece of rubber, like bicycle tire rubber, or inner tube rubber, in there to see if it would quit moving. And I'm going to try to do something to wedge it. I have been able to get it at least closed. It's holding water right now. I did adjust this guy, but I don't like the fact that this has got about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch travel, which just is going to, I believe, constantly keep me guessing if I'm going to have to be back under here again. So hang on, stay tuned, and I'll let you know how I finalize this. All right, I was able to tilt that enough to get an Allen wrench. I don't know if you can see that, but an Allen wrench on the top of that bolt. So it allowed me to loosen this up. And what I've done is I've cut a piece of serpentine belt and wedged it in there, and hopefully that's going to give me the grip I need to keep this electric motor from sliding up and down on the valve body. So let's see how that does. I'll get that tightened back up. Well, that definitely did it. There's no movement on that motor anymore. Now you can see back here there's some adjustments here. So I'm sealed off. I'm going to open it up. It shouldn't have to, I mean, frankly, as long as it opens a 1/4 inch, that's all I need to be able to, dump water out of it. Main thing is that it seals, and right now, well, let's see how we did. Well, seems to be working great. Hope that helps you guys. Well, I operated it from the electric switch, and it didn't shut off completely. It was much better, but it was still dripping. So this little guy right here is a stop. So I backed him off, and I was able to push this in, push the valve in, and it completely shut off the drip. So now I'm just going to tighten this nut back up against this, I guess that's the motor push rod, and then tighten this guy up against this stop, and hopefully that is all the adjustment I need for this thing to have the room it needs to open and then to actually seal when I shut it off. All right, this is a take 2 because when I dumped it a while ago, it didn't stop dripping when I sealed it back off. So let's see what happens now. We'll open the valve. There comes our water. Shut it back off. Yep, I think we got her. Great, that little adjustment did it. Everything's so handy in it, just to push a little button and dump everything. Hopefully this helps you guys if you're having the issue. Thanks.